In this video tutorial, we're going to add some block elements or divs to our container, style them a little bit, and then upload to our website so that you can get started with actually adding content to your index page. So when we left off in our previous tutorial, we had created a container that's 750 pixels wide and 800 high, and we have this placeholder text in there which we can go ahead and delete. Make sure you don't delete the actual div. And inside the container now, I'm going to insert a header div. To do that, I double click on the insert panel over here with the structure pull down menu showing. I'm going to choose header from the list of elements I can add and choose ID, and I'm going to type in header, call it H-E-A-D-R for short, click OK, and just replace the header text here with a heading for my site. I'm going to call it David's Wonderful Web Page, but you can type in whatever you want here for your heading for your page. It'll probably change over time. And I'm going to come back and style this here in a second, but let's continue to build the divs. So I've got my header div here, and then I'm going to go back to the structure menu and click, actually I'm not going to click div this time. I'm going to go to section and click on section because we're going to add a section div. And from the insert pull down menu here, instead of at insertion point, we're going to click on that and we're going to say after tag, because we don't want to insert it in the header tag, we want to insert it after the header tag. So we click on the after tag, after pull down, and we're going to say after the header div. And we're going to call this main content, but you can call it whatever you want. I'm just using main underscore content. Remember, you can't have any spaces between words, and try and stick to all lowercase. And then we're going to click OK. And there's my main content area. You can type in, and I would love for you to put in some information about yourself here. Maybe this is a sort of a start of an About Me page. If you don't have anything ready to go now, but you want to have some placeholder text in here to give you a feel for the design of your page, there is a website, and I'm going to toggle to it here. I've got open in Safari a site called lipsum.com, Lipsum.com, and this generates lorem ipsum, which is placeholder text. And I'm going to generate some lorem ipsum, and I'll just grab this middle paragraph. That'll do for the moment. Copy, toggle back to Dreamweaver. I do this by Command T, gets me back there, and I'm going to go here, select that text, and paste. And now I've got some placeholder text. And you notice if you hit return, it automatically puts a p tag in here. You can see the p tag over here has got a little bit of built-in padding, but we can change that in our style sheet as well. So here's our placeholder text, and then we're going to delete that a little bit. I'm going to actually add one more tag from the insert menu. Going to go to footer, click footer, and once again, instead of an insertion point, I'm going to say after tag, and I'm going to make it after the main content tag. And I'm going to call it, surprisingly, footer without the E. You can call it whatever you want. But there's the footer tag, and I'm going to replace that text. Just going to highlight it and go insert. This time I'm going to go insert character, copyright, which gives me a copyright symbol, space, 2014, and my name. The last thing I'm going to do here probably almost the last thing. I'm going to highlight the header here, and I'm going to go to the property inspector down here in Dreamweaver, which is this bottom area in Dreamweaver. And from the format pop-up area, pop-up menu, going to click on that. I'm going to choose heading 1. And that puts an H1 tag around my text here at the top of the page. An H1 tag not only makes the type bigger and bold, but it also is the most important text on a web page. And the H1 tag is the text that's returned when someone searches for a page and gets a hit to a web page. This is the text that's returned. So use the H1 tag thoughtfully. In this case, I think it's appropriate. I can also now go back to my, I'm going to collapse the insert panel, and I'm going to go back to my container style here and choose container from the set of selectors, from the set of rules I've created. And where it says height, and if you don't see that, it's under the layout area. Where I've chosen height, remember we set this to 800 pixels. I'm going to delete that rule by clicking on the trash can. And you can see my page has just, my container has just collapsed to the content of the page. So this way it's set to auto, the height is set to auto, and if I add more text, if I say go into the main content area and start typing, it's automatically going to extend the height of the page. So I know this is not a whole lot, and you can add a little bit more to this, but at least we've got our page started. We've got our first bit of content here, and all we want to do to finish off this tutorial is to upload it and test it to the website. So to do that, we're going to click on the Files panel here in Dreamweaver, and we're going to click on the Connect button up here and to connect to our server. So you can see it's a couple of little plugs, and if you click on that, it should give you a little check mark here and show you that you're connected. And then make sure that you have the top root folder selected and click on the up arrow to put your files to the server. Click on the up, and you should get this message that says, are you sure you wish to put the entire site? You click OK. It says that the desktop CSS has been modified. Do you wish to save the files? I'm just going to say yes to all at this point because I want to make sure that the whole site is uploaded, including the style sheet. And now it's giving me a message that file activity is complete. I can launch my browser. So I'm going to open my site in Safari. So I launch the browser, and I'm going to go into the web address area, and I'm going to type in the path to our web pages, which should be sim.column.edu/iam/wd/your last name, not mine, and hit return, and there is my wonderful web page. And one more thing I might do just to add a little bit of splash, I'm going to change the color of my H1 text. At the very least, I can do that. And so to do that, I'm going to toggle back to Dreamweaver, and I'm going to highlight the H1, the heading on my page, and I'm going to go to Selectors, and it pops up with Container Header H1 as the rule I'm going to modify, and I'm going to click just to the right of that Once again, collapse my file panel so I've got more room here. And all I'm going to do with the H1 inside the header, which is inside the container, and that's what this is telling me this rule is for. And by the way, notice I've got a second rule here that was probably done in a previous demo. I can get that one and delete the rule from here. So now I've just got one rule. And with this one rule selected, I'm going to click on the text icon and choose color. And the color I'm going to choose for this, I'm going to choose a deep red for my text. I think it looks nice on the gray. And with the color selected, I simply hit return. It changes the color of my page here. And if I think that's a little bit too red, I can click on it again and go a little bit darker here, maybe a little bit more like a maroon color. There we go. So I've changed the rule a little bit. I want to go back to the files area, click on that, and I'm still connected to the server, so I'm ready to upload it. So I click upload. Once again, it says, are you sure you want to upload the whole site? I say, okay. Once again, your desktop CSS has been modified, and that's true. I did change the CSS. So I'm going to say yes to all, let it upload, toggle back to my website. Notice it hasn't changed, right? But if I refresh the page, indeed it has changed. It's uploaded the new color for my header. So that is how to add the basic building blocks for your page, and please feel free to customize the content however you want.